One of the legs has come off again. Get that leg started again. I'll actually tighten them all up just a little bit so they don't let go on us. They have a clutch type mechanism in the bottom of the legs that you can't over tighten them and strip the threads out. The problem is you can't get them tight enough and they tend to fall off, so tiny little bit of action with a pair of pliers and you're right. Alright, let's see what we've got. Looking at this one here first. A little bit, not too bad. That one there. The third wheel is pretty horrible. And the escape wheel, that one there. Not much chop either. Alright, let's have a look at the back. These are the bad ones. Second wheel. Nearly as slack as that one. Third wheel. Yep. And the fourth wheel, the escape wheel up there, yep. Alright, they will all have to be redone. That's how bad they are. Alright, I'll check the other side and then I'll come back and we'll decide what the next step is. Take the nuts off the pillars, remove the back plate and take the wheels out once again and put them in our foam block in their correct orientation. Third wheel, second wheel. Alright, I'll do the other side now. I'll put the strike side wheels in and they're not running smoothly at all, they're very jumpy. And I had a look to see and I've found out exactly what the problem is. Most of these bushings are proud on the inside. So the plates have to be relatively loose for them to have end play. That's the first wheel, this is the third wheel. When you come up to the third wheel, you can have a look there. I'll shoot a photo of it so you can actually see it. There you can easily see how far the pivot is sticking out of that bushing. The pivot is not running into the bushing at all. There's at least 1.5 millimeters there of the pivot not going into the bushing. And you can see there's no movement there whatsoever. Alright, well they all need to be redone unfortunately. So it's no good marking them because they've all got to be redone. There's no advantage in marking the ones to be done. This is a small ball peen hammer that I bought for using on clocks. And you'll notice when it was brand new, the face of it, when I put a steel rule on it, a straight edge, rocks backwards and forwards. That face is supposed to be flat, perfectly flat, so that when you hit something, it hits directly. It doesn't hit at a slight angle. So that face there has to be flat, and I'm going to go and flatten that now, and then I'll come back and then I'll show you what it looks like. Right there you can see it's now been leveled off, it's been filed, draw filed, and the top of the hammer is now perfectly flat. It's now ready to be able to be used. There it is there, nice and shiny, you can see it's been filed down. We'll check each of the pivots now. We'll start off with this one here. It's easily seen that that's proud, the rule's hitting the side of it, not going anywhere. This one here, just sliding over the top, is pretty close, but it's still a bit proud. This one here, same story, just. Look over here, see what we've got. Knocking, knocking, knocking. Yeah, that one there, you can probably hear it too. The rule hitting on it. Check this one here. Little bit of a catch there, you can't hear it, but a little bit of a catch. And the bushing for the fly up here heaps and heaps and heaps out. Right, now there's a couple of ways we can tackle this, and we'll do both. We can use a very fine file, and using our 2-inch bench vise, let's find a fine one. That one there is pretty easy. Using our 2-inch bench vise as a platform to hold the plate level, we can very lightly rub the file over the top and just take the tiniest little bit off the top of that bushing. I'll test the bushing with my finger. Yes, it's still a little bit proud. I'll file it a bit more and then test it once again with my finger. Now we'll check it with our rule again, pushing along. Slides over perfectly, that's good. There's a little bit on the edge there. That's the one that someone hit with a cold chisel. That's why there's a little bit of a lump on the side of the plate there. I'll just smooth that down a tiny little bit. Yep, that's pretty good. This guy here is up a bit, so we'll file that down also. Once again, making sure that the file is only touching the top of the bushing, not rubbing away excess amounts of the plate. It's coming down. It's a little bit proud there, but not much. I'll try that with that's right. Those two are all right. Now we've got that one there that's horrible, that one that's not too bad, and that one's horrible. So we'll use an alternate method. We'll use my hammer. We'll hammer those two down. But this guy here, that's not too bad, we'll use a very fine file on it and file the top off the bushing, or probably in this instance the back off the bushing. That's feeling better. See what it looks like. As you can see, it doesn't take much. Alright, now this guy up here, seriously proud, the bushing for the fly. What we'll do is we'll open the jaws on our bench vise so that the bearing doesn't touch either side of the jaws. That's a little bit better because we want to be able to drive the bushing down between the jaws so it slides in. Give another tap or two. Be careful not to whack the camera, and see how we go. Very close indeed. Right, I'll take the last tiny little bit off that with a file. The back of the bushing's not actually parallel to the plate, it's up on one side, so that's why it's slightly catching. And I think that is pretty good, yes. You'll notice when I'm filing flat, and then occasionally, exaggerated, I lift the file up and I just use that side there to just run over the top in case there's a high spot there, and then revert back to filing it smoothly. And that's pretty good. Alright, this one here, this will be the last one that we'll do with a hammer, then I'll do the rest off camera. We line it up. Hit it a couple of times. Getting better, we're getting there. Check it again. Just about, alright. finish the last little bit with our file. Keeping it parallel to the plate. That's feeling better. Now lift it up onto one side slightly, and that will be a more aggressive cut on the high spot. Check that with our steel rule. Almost done. A little bit more on the side. We've got a high spot on the right hand side there. And now smooth file it flat. See how we go. Lovely. Well, they're all pretty good now. These two we did before. Okay, that's all good. So we've got a fair bit of bushing to do here, and there's a couple of bodgy ones. That one there that's been hit with a cold chisel, and that one there which has been whacked too far by somebody, and there's a bump on the side of the plate you can see there. See the way the rule is moving, the straight edge. Alright, I'll finish the rest, then we'll come back and get on to the next thing. There were three separate problems that were stopping the escape wheel from turning. The first problem was that the ratchet on the great wheel was way too tight. It didn't allow the wheel to turn, so that was the first problem I had to solve. I did that by taking the wheel out